Don't look under the internet.
We don't have a number yet, but that's Doug's job and problem.
I will go there and I will fight every postal employee until I find the key to a P.O. box.
Doug will go postal. On that one, we're going to go ahead and say, because you're back now.
I am.
Did you get the pee all out of you?
It should all be out.
It's
I saved
stored
a
in
little
the
bit.
balls. Welcome to Don't Look Under the Internet, everybody.
I saved a little bit of pee for later.
A podcast about pee.
Today it is, I think.
That's Jason.
Hello.
That's Doug.
What up?
I'm Mike.
Wow.
And that's Moot.
How many spoons did you stick in your ass?
Technically, that was
That-
Moot. You're
I-
absolutely right.
That is him.
I'm really happy that the correct board was put up on this, because that could have gone awfully.
Moot is not here today. He is doing much more adulty big boy things that needs his attention. And that's okay because...
He's lifing like a champ.
He's lifing like a champ. And honestly, I am a little envious of him staying away from this one, and I chose the topic.
Why
Why is it every time Mike
I
picks a
hate
topic,
myself.
we all just go into pure
Just chaos mode?
I hate myself. My heart has never been beating faster.
These are all words.
I need like a solid 10-hour nap.
Yeah.
And I just need to go into a quiet place and not think for a little bit after this. And this is only part one. Spoiler, we're doing part twos of this episode.
Fucking rip the
But
Band-Aid
before
off.
we get into it, we're going to do a little old-fashioned Diluti.
Clap above
Housekeeping.
your head.
We have a couple people that we want to shout out.
It's
first,
Doug.
It's Doug. Doug is a couple people.
Good job, Doug.
What up?
We have Aries Incognito, who's in the Discord right now with us.
Hello.
And then we have Ford Lamore.
Ford Lamore.
Ford Lamore.
Okay.
What the
I think it's supposed to be, if you rearrange the F and the L, it's Lord Femur.
Lord Femur.
I kind of like that.
Okay.
So I'm going with Lord Femur because I enjoy how that sounds.
I love
just
hearing...
rename a motherfucker.
Yeah, and they're the two special.
This is one of my favorite part of our episodes, just so I can hear what great names are in store.
You're welcome.
Well, we have a returnee as well. Someone who was a patron but is now a patron again.
Was that wasn't that is.
Oh,
It is
yeah.
Mega Weapon.
Mega Weapon.
And
And they said, you don't gotta shout me out again, but here we are.
but we finna gonna. Megan
Mega
Weapon.
Weapon.
Meggert.
Megan Weapon.
The weapon for all Megans.
The weapon for Megans. If you would like to become a patron, you can go to DilutiPod. Nope, don't do that. I mean, you could go to dilutipod.com and find a link to our Patreon, but you could also just go to patreon.com/dilutipod. You could chuck in something, or you could chuck in nothing.
Or.
You could chuck in some ore.
Or.
But if you chuck in nothing, you're gonna get nothing. So.
Zowie. There it is. Thank you. No, we actually have, so for some extended housekeeping.
Extended housekeeping.
Clapping above your head like a madman. No, we have some things that we've been talking about, we've been doing lately. We're gonna make some additions to the Patreon tiers. So all the tiers, $5 and up as they stand now, are all gonna be receiving an additional
newsletter.
What? I mean, yes, that's a whole separate thing. But so once a month, we're kind of having a fill-in bonus type thing for everybody. It's gonna be rotating. It's gonna be a little bit different every month. We're gonna try out some new things there.
Rotatis, you could say.
Rotatis, yes. Matt and I have actually also been working on some more audio drama goodness that you won't see this month. We set a deadline for ourselves, and that deadline is approaching way more rapidly than I could ever imagined. So we're thinking within the next 2 months, some more audio drama goodness is going to come out as well. But we'll have to see on that. And as Mike was saying, we're going to have a newsletter tied to Patreon now to help better inform all of you just on a multitude of different things, such as like
It's just going to be small updates here
Yeah.
and there on what's going on with your poppies here at Duluti.
release dates for episodes. We might throw some polls in there for patrons to kind of help see what you guys would like to hear us cover.
I'll probably be doing an ARG radar sort of thing, keeping you guys updated on
And-
new ARGs, old ones, new episodes, etc.
Oh, yeah.
For you $10 big boys, given the
Big ass
the big
bitches.
big cheddar,
Yes.
once a month I'm going to be doing a game night on a Sunday
Hell yeah.
with you guys. So use with the cheddar bob, the Skrilla to be thrown around. There you go.
It took me a second to comprehend what you just said. But yeah, we're making a ton of awesome changes. Hopefully there's gonna be some more interaction with you guys, and all of this is kind of based on the fact that today I went to first shift, so I have normal fucking hours again, which means I have way more time for this shit. So
Plus, if you're not big into our Discord and you just follow along via whatever podcast site you're using, we now have video on our YouTube.
Yeah.
So make sure to check that out.
You can
Keep
check
that
me
shit.
out in all my pixelated glory. Watch me lag. Look, woo, 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 woo. You can't see that through audio, but if you look on the video, you'll see it looked bad.
yeah, you can see how dumb we are, and that goes along with our dumb voices. So check us out. Go to YouTube, follow us, subscribe, all the good stuff.
Big stupid all around.
Big stupid all around. Speaking of big stupid
And all around,
and all around,
our topic is
all around,
all around
big and stupid.
I wouldn't say big and stupid.
It's big.
It's big.
It's fucking big.
We're talking about something that
And we're
Doug
gonna
and I.
small it so hard.
Oh yeah. Full disclaimer. We're gonna dilute it. You fucking figure it out.
We're gonna
right
dilute
off the rip.
it down.
We're
We-
gonna give you the things that we think you should know without telling you all the things you probably should know.
We TLDR'd the shit out of this.
And we're biased, and we picked the things that we thought were important.
Yes.
Which,
So
you know,
here's the fun thing. And here's the connection. Much like a child predator abducts a child,
Wow.
aliens abduct humans.
Wow. Much like Chris Hansen investigates the predators that take children, we are investigating.
Full circle. Predator is an alien.
He is an alien. We're
Did
talking
you know
about
that the dude who directed Prey, that Predator movie, wasn't he the same guy that directed 10 Cloverfield Lane?
probably.
I think it was. I'm
We're
pretty sure it
talking
was.
about something.
Mike, do you want to explain your feelings?
We're talking about an underground bunker, 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Holy
We're talking
Holy
about the
shit.
Dulce Base, baby.
Dulce Base.
Base.
I want to
Base.
say the has to be in there. I can't say the words without the
We're talking
I
about
know,
the
right?
Dulce Base, and like I said, there's so much fucking shit on this. If you go to fucking, I'll tell you right now, if you go to the Biblioteca Pleiades on this, you're gonna find the Dulce papers or the Dulce papers, the Dulce book, whatever you want to call it, Dulce files. You're gonna find it all on there. You're gonna find something called Dulce text. If you can go a bunch of places to find all this stuff. There's so
There's so fucking much.
goddamn much on this.
I found something
I
literally
don't
like
have
25 minutes before heading over here.
I don't have the manpower or the willpower to be able
Or
to
the
cover
horsepower.
or the horsepower to be able to cover everything.
If we
So-
haven't said this before, we all work full-time jobs.
We do.
Here.
We are
And
going
we're doing
over.
our probably best.
We're going over probably what I would call the bare bones of Dulce. We're gonna do this in a two-parter, and we're gonna go from there.
Yeah.
We're gonna see what happens.
See what the fuck happens.
So where do we start? But the beginning, boys. Do you know where Dulce is?
Yeah, it's up your ass and around the corner.
It sure is.
can I take a whack at it?
Yeah,
It's in Old Mexico.
yeah.
Cool. Got
Yeah.
it. Got it in one.
Old Mexico. It's in New Mexico. It's
Oh, fuck,
a
the new
town
one?
in New Mexico. And if you guys didn't know this, Dulce, I believe, is Spanish for candy. If I'm not mistaken.
or sugar or
I
sweet
knew
or
a lady-
caramel. Yeah.
I knew a lady in high school, not to dox her, but everyone probably has heard of someone named Dulce. And
Did you meet her outside on the street and she offered you candy?
yes, no, but her name was Dulce, and I found out that it meant candy. And I'm
No,
like,
I think she was just saying
interesting.
dulce, like sweets, like sweet. Get in my van, dickhead.
So around, hence the predator. So way back. I mean, you can go back forever if we want to get like too deep into this topic, because there's whole things with, you know, the aliens. Like we're going to get more into depth with them, but we're talking about aliens that have been around on the planet for thousands, if not millions of years. Technically, where we're starting off is going to be roughly around the 30s and 40s and 50s. And it's going to go
30s, 40s, and 50s.
And it's going to go all the way into relatively current times. But again, you can go way back, way back.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, even like Hitler and the Nazis are involved in this somehow because of Operation Paperclip. Because they're the reasons that we get
we
where
took
I'm
influences from the Nazis on this one.
But they're the reason that we're getting to where I'm kind of getting to. So, Dulce, back in like the 40s, there's already been strange stuff going on. Ever since the 30s, there's already been a bunch of strange stuff going on in Dulce. There's been plenty of reportings, most of them by Native Americans, because it's a large Native American populace there. Back in the 30s, there were just rumors upon rumors of, you know, strange like disappearances. There were rumors of like cattle mutilations. There's rumors of spacecraft, UFOs, all that stuff. I mean, this connects even to two topics we've done in the back. This connects to missing 411 in an aspect.
It does,
because
yeah.
the tunnel systems.
Yep.
And it also connects to the Valley of Headless Men.
Yep, Valley of Headless Men.
Two topics that those are mine. Those are mine, and now I'm doing this.
It's like you've created your own Hellraiser cube.
This is my own like headcanon on everything Dulce apparently. But
we know that you love aliens.
There's always been a bunch of connections to all these different areas around here, and most of the early rumors, again, you'll find were just like subtle UFO spottings. Bigfoot comes into play, but mainly we get into about 1947 when you start to see these weird like trucks starting to come in to build up a road. It's military trucks that come in and start building up this road, and no one knows why. The Native American populace just like, what the fuck's going on here? You guys weren't here before. What are you doing here now? And then
you almost went Canadian with that.
Oh yeah, what are you doing here now?
I was like, huh.
Yeah, we're far away from Canada. But it's when this road was being constructed that you start to see these lumber companies coming through. Give me the
Smith Lumber.
No, thank you.
You're welcome.
These lumber companies, and you see
like,
so you hear the noise happening. I say lumber companies with quotes because like they're not really lumber companies.
No,
you got
fuck
one that's
no.
it's literally called Smith Corp. And you get all
Yeah,
these other
it's-
companies that come into play too. Like you get just that one was like the introduction,
They
especially
might as
with
well
like
just been called Log Company.
I know.
log selling.
And like New Mexico's not really known for their lumber.
no, there's not.
Like,
There
they
are
have the
other
mountains.
places with way more
Yeah,
lumber.
like there's the mountains that have like the trees and everything, but like just New Mexico in general, there's not that many fucking trees. You got a better chance of like cactuses and like fucking terracotta houses or some shit. I don't fucking know.
Mike's getting all worked up, and I love this. So these are my favorite moments.
Oh, absolutely.
They're so good.
You just gotta let them
The
go.
Smith
Just let 'em
Corp
go.
is the Smith Corp, and there's this other one called the Rand Corporation, which is another one that you start seeing very early on. The Rand Corporation is kind of seen as like this octopus, which it's got like all this different shit going on underneath it, and it's kind of seen as this like shadow government. It's pretty much, you know how people say like the president's not really in control?
Yes.
The Rand people are the people that are kind of running shit. They're the ones that are
Like
strong
the
arming the
NWO?
government. Yeah, they're part of it. They're part of it. And in the fucking Rand symposium, as they fucking call it, there are over 650 attendees, I guess you could say. And in the 50s, that's when you start to see these people start to come out. You have industries that are involved in this, like General Electric Company, fucking AT&T's involved. Hughes Craft, Northrop Corp, Sandia Corporation, the Stanford Research Institute, Walsh Construction, the Bechtel Corporation. That's a big one. Bechtel is a huge one that's involved in this. You have the Colorado School of Mines. There's so many
The
more.
Colorado School of Mimes?
Mines, yeah. But
That's
Bechtel,
way worse.
Bechtel is kind of what started it. Bechtel is like the main piece because they're the ones that brought on like Rand being part of this like this shadow government.
So-
Bechtel is this shadow government. They're
so-
founded in 1898. They are the shadow government.
just want
That is how we
clarification,
get
Mike-
into the New World Order from Bechtel. It's them.
Mike.
Yes.
You can keep going right after this, I promise. I think Doug and I need to play some catch up because you are so. I love how passionate that you are about these topics.
I'm not
for
done
sure.
yet.
I just need some clarification.
Okay.
The three companies you named, what were they one more time? It was Bechtel,
You have Bechtel. You have the Rand Company.
the Rand Company.
And you have Smith Corp.
And these are all like recognized logos
You can
or
look
brands.
them up.
You can look them up.
Literally, I'm
and
pretty
they
sure
Still
Bechtel
exists today.
Bechtel won like a European award like 2 years ago or some shit.
Okay.
They're alive and thriving.
As long as it wasn't an American award, I'm good.
Yeah, exactly. But they're on American soil. So anyway, back to Smith Corp. This
Sorry, I
lumber
just-
company. So obviously, since there's no lumber or anything, it's like this ain't no fucking lumber company. Come on. So as soon as you see fucking Smith Corp come in with all these lumber trucks and everything, they immediately disappear, and that road that was built immediately vanishes. Now you're probably wondering, if it wasn't lumber, Michael, what was it? Well, I'll fucking tell you. These weren't actually lumber trucks. These were boring machines. And I'm not talking like boring as in you're boring and I hate you. No,
No,
I'm
like-
talking like boring as in drilling into
These
the
are
earth.
special boring
Yes,
machines.
these boring machines have this like super high-tech, sophisticated technology that the government does not want you to
Weren't
know
they like
about.
nuclear?
They're nuclear powered, and basically what they do is like what you've seen in movies, where they essentially
It's the core.
they drill into the earth, and every rock that it hits, it just superheats it into a molten lava, and it just shoots it behind it, where it freezes and makes like this tunnel system. And these tunnels, these machines, they work off of like magnets and like vacuum systems.
How
to
do they
where
work?
No one knows.
no one knows. Fresca.
No one knows.
Fago.
Fago, I mean. Fresca. They run off of Fago.
That little green
And
ghouls make
Shasta.
them work.
Yeah. But nobody truly knows how these machines work, other than they work off of like nuclear power and vacuum technology and magnetic technology. Magnets are going to come up a lot in this because when it comes to Dulce Base, turns out they don't really like electricity the way we do. They like magnets up
No,
there.
it's run off magnets.
It's very strange.
All of it.
But so, fuck, where was I? Anyway, I found it out. But these boring machines, they apparently are so powerful that they can move at the speed of light.
Jesus.
That's a fucking thing. So they can just make this tunnel as fast as they can. And these tunnels, they are thousands of miles long. I mean, this is why I said it connects to the missing 411.
So you're telling me
it connects to so much.
that these things move at the speed of light.
They can.
This is proven.
Through rock.
This is proven. I have my source.
Okay.
It's a
His
wall
name
of
is Harry.
You say
It's
it's
a,
real.
it's a wall of green text on a black background.
Oh,
That's my
no.
source.
Yes.
I
Oh,
Those
found
are the
it.
most
No.
credible
I
websites.
found that website. I thought it was just a joke.
No.
That's a real website that I
Yeah.
found.
Yep. Now, okay. Now, I know that we just had a small discussion about credible sourcing
No, hang
for
on.
material.
I'm not all the way done.
I know you're
I
not.
have one sentence and I'm done.
No one.
Okay, go ahead.
This connects to the missing 411 because this base that you'll find is built in a gigantic tunnel system.
Yep.
And there's multiple tunnels in it. There's multiple man-made tunnels and natural-made tunnels that all collide into making this giant base that we're going to get into what's in it. Could be a Starbucks. We'll find out.
I hope there's a Starbucks.
On the next episode of Diluti Ball Z. All right, what do you go ahead? All right,
Whenever you talk, I'm done ranting.
So I
Jesus.
know Mike just went off the fucking rails.
Off the fucking handle.
But let's take a step back and let's actually
Let's
talk
all- let's-
about the base itself.
Let's bring the tone of the room. Let's do our. Hold on, everyone.
Let me
Just
soothe everyone with my monotone voice.
can you lead us in like a breathing exercise or something?
So what you're gonna do is you're going to stop breathing, and you're just gonna hold it. Session over.
Perfect. All
Nailed
right,
it.
we're all calm now. I'm
All right.
assuming.
So that's the most calm you'll ever be.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna step back a bit, and we're gonna actually talk about this base, this supposed base. I'm gonna. Oh, thank you. So basically, this base is located underground on the border of Colorado and New Mexico under the Archuleta Mesa. So it's in New Mexico, but it's like if you look on the map, it's like fucking.
Barely. It's almost not in New Mexico.
It's almost not in New Mexico.
So close. It's right there.
So, as you could assume, this base is shrouded in conspiracies, but it is mainly thought to house a human alien operated base. Now, we're going to say base. We're not going to call it a fort or an Air Force.
There's a lot of things we
base.
could call it.
It's just the fucking Dulce
You could
base.
call it a condominium,
You
couldn't.
could call it a condo.
Nope, you can't.
an apartment.
It's absolutely not.
Hmm.
Yep.
A base.
So, yes.
Okay.
That's
Got
the
it.
word.
That's the one.
That is the word. That is the golden word. All right, so like I said, this is a human alien operated base, as we know or think. But the base is said to contain human animal hybrids, human alien hybrids, and extremely advanced alien technologies.
We'll get a load of those later.
There's also rumors that extreme human experiments are being done here, whether it be, experiments using UFO technology or just gene splicing. It's gonna be all up to debate. You fucking figure it out. We'll maybe talk about it. Maybe.
Who knows?
But,
you better stay here.
You better listen to the end of episode 2. But there's so much just batshit crazy stuff happening at this place. Let me read off there are 7 levels of this base.
Okay.
And when I say levels, I guess it's 7 basements.
That we know of. There's 7 levels that we know of. Because
that we know
it only
of.
goes up to 7, but there's fucking, what is it?
The map only goes up to like 6, I think.
there's
The map goes to 7.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Yeah.
But there's people that have like Umrah fucking clearance that could go places that people with level 7 clearance can't even go up to. So it's like, are there really 7?
Because like
Maybe the next
I'm
one,
so
if you
excited.
have that kind of, if you have that Umrah fucking clearance, you go to a different base, and that you're like level 1 on that base, and you got to work your fucking way up again.
So
how do you get
Mike's on
Are you about to ask how you
today.
get there? The fucking light speed boring machine. How do you think you fucking get there?
So
This is my favorite version of Mike. Just unhinged and does not give a fuck.
when Mike has uncontrollable anxiety, he just shit talks his way through a situation.
He just fills the space with words.
Yeah, so to kind of clarify what Mike was sort of rambling off about.
Yelling about.
So this base is actually thought to be connected to about hundreds of other bases underground.
If it's a base, it's connected.
Yeah, pretty much. These tunnels that are being built by light speed machines.
Running off vacuum, nuclear, and magnetic technology.
And water. It uses water somehow.
Yeah, okay.
Cooling system.
Basically, all of these tunnels, there's said to be like thousands of miles worth of tunnels just connecting all of these different bases, which we're only going to go over the one base.
Yeah.
But as Mike was saying, yes, you could get to other bases and be on different levels of those bases.
This is a rabbit hole that will ruin your life.
There's a
if
base
I'm
out in
being
Nevada.
honest.
There's a base in Toronto. There's a base in, I think London has one as well.
I bet there's one at the fucking creepy Colorado airport.
Oh, I'm sure.
The Denver airport.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Denver
that's a fucking
airport's-
base.
that's
It's
like a hub.
Look that up. In Denver airport, there's a underground base underneath the Denver airport.
Yeah, we'll go over that.
There are
There's
hallways
just
and doorways that you
chill.
cannot have access to. There are armed security
All right,
at those doorways not letting you in.
We gotta put blinders on, and we gotta
I'm going to fight you.
we gotta just barrel through this. I think.
So Mike took on more than he could chew for this episode. Now his brain only knows this thing that
I
we're
want you to
talking about.
know. I want you to know that every sentence you say is a potential landmine.
You want to start off with the level 1.
Can you mute him? So actually, thank you. Yes, let's do that. So Dulce Base,
Yes.
level 1. We've got security and communications, right?
And
That
maintenance.
That
Yeah,
sounds
it's
normal.
Maintenance, some offices, some.
That's fine. Level 2. We got the human staff housing.
Okay.
That makes sense. That's cool. Everything's fine.
Why is it specific?
Well, let's get to level 3 and then we'll talk about it. So level
Okay.
3, we've got the execs and the labs.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's more government offices and whatnot
government
there.
offices,
So 1 through 3 is
scientific
just
offices.
like an office building is 1 through 3.
God, I just
Yeah.
want to go into so. I did a little bit of your research on this. I have so much detail into every single fucking level. Can I
He's
go over it?
shaking.
Can I go over it?
if
you're
you're
not
let me get
as
through
you
all
go.
the levels,
Yeah.
and then you can talk about
just-
this when I'm
yeah,
done.
yeah. Go.
How about
Okay,
that?
Doug, do you
Yeah.
want to play a fun game?
I
And also,
do.
Discord, you can play this with us. Every time Mike just takes over a topic, we'll take a shot.
Oh God, no, I don't consent to that at the moment.
But do
All
you
right.
agree to it?
It could be happening. It could be a thing we do. All right, so level 4.
Well,
So,
4.
so remember, level 3 was the executives and the laboratories.
Right.
So
Offices.
level 4 is the mind control experiment level.
That's different.
That is different.
That's not offices.
One of these things is not like the others, but the rest are like the one that's not like the others.
This is not like accounts payable.
So this is different. This might be the opposite of accounts
This
payable.
isn't City Hall.
Okay.
So let's go to level 5, right?
Well, okay. Is there less bureaucracy there? Because it seems like there's a trend happening
Honestly,
here.
this might be where most of the bureaucracy
This
comes
is
into play.
probably the most bureaucratic one. Level 5, alien housing.
Oh.
This is where the aliens live.
This is where they live.
fucking Schnatzu lives and
Okay. An
Gleep,
elf.
Glorp, and Gobbledorp.
Elf.
Fucking,
Gobbledorp.
So let's say you're just like done perusing level 5, the alien housing, and you wanna go down to level 6. This is
probably
where all the genetic experiments take place. So
That doesn't have a nice little like misnomer, I would call it, maybe. It's got a nickname, I think, right?
I don't know. Mike, take it away.
It's called the Nightmare Hall.
Oh, right, yes.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Did you hear the thunder strike as I said that shit? Oh.
So you might be perusing along
Didn't expect that to
the
happen.
nightmare hallway and see a fucking
Every time
person with 8 legs who screams out of their feet.
Can I comment on how weird it's been that every time that we have said the words nightmare hallway, there's just been some maniacal laughter.
Nightmare Hall? All of you. Shit.
Right? It's weird, right?
Very.
Nightmare hallway.
Anyways, once you leave the nightmare hallway, we get down to the last level that we know about, called cryogenic storage.
It's just gonna be like fart noises.
I hope he puts nothing there. I hope he puts 0 things there. It's just us being assholes.
Just wait.
Okay.
So level 7 is cryogenic storage. Now you might be wondering, is this where Walt Disney is?
Is this where Icy Wiener lives?
He's in Disney. But this is just filled with thousands of like suspension water tanks that are holding.
It's just water?
Well,
It's people
it's a
frozen in it.
water-like fluid. I don't know what
Okay.
it is. But they're just like, it's aliens, people, hybrids, abominations.
Vodka is a water-like fluid. I just want
It
to be
could
clear
be
on
vodka.
that. Okay.
Some sort of fluid that I don't have the science behind because more than likely
The science is
Oh,
fake.
I have a bit of science on it.
it
I'll
is not
tell
real.
you.
But it could be real. But yeah, that is where I'm at here. Mike, if you want to go over some of this shit, go.
Do you
go
have some
ahead.
things
I
to
have
add
some things
before-
to add.
okay.
So level 1, like Doug talked about, was things like maintenance. What else did you say?
Communication and security.
Communication security. In maintenance, that's where they store all the garbage. Now, we're going to get into it a little bit more, but in this site, it is alleged that roughly about 18,000 gray aliens live here, and a fuckload of other aliens, such as reptilians and Dracos. Reptilians and Dracos, they're similar, but not. Dracos are like the leaders of the reptilians. They're these giant, like white draconian
But Mike, how do they
aliens.
all live in peace?
They don't.
Dracos don't like us.
We don't live in peace. That's the thing.
No, the
Everything here, if you even talk, like you'll notice this, that they don't let you talk to other aliens when you're not working with them, because you can start
Yes.
a whole fucking alien
This
political
all comes
war.
back to fucking what's the episode
Majestic
we did?
12.
Yes, thank
Yes,
you.
Yes, no, but
Or-
Majestic 12 is connected
Yeah,
to this.
yeah, but you can start a whole fucking war if you just say the word like
These nuts?
Yeah, if you just say these nuts, then you just started.
Or if you go click clack.
yeah,
and
an
like,
intergalactic
You have no idea what you're saying.
war. But anyway, you're probably wondering, like, what do they do with all the garbage that's piles up here? Because there's a fuckload of living things here, including humans. Humans got to poop. Humans got to eat.
They
aliens
eat,
got
they
to eat.
sleep and eat
aliens
it
got to
then,
poop.
right?
So what they do
sleep
with this
on it and
garbage?
eat
do
it?
they?
They basically burn and vaporize the absolute shit out of all this garbage, and then they use that as fertilizer for their crops in the base. Now, that's not even all of the garbage. There's this stuff called wet garbage, which we're going to get to later on as well.
Did we go through all the levels first off?
I'm about to. This is level 1. He went through all the levels. I'm just going over details in the levels.
Okay.
Yes. Now, this wet garbage, you're probably asking, Michael, what the fuck is wet garbage? Wet garbage is shit that you get from these experiments that go on here. It's the
Biohazardous waste.
It's the dead experiments, the dead human hybrid creature things, and it's some of the mutilated cows and everything that are found around the area of Dulce. And we have these like weird bacterial life forms that are living in basically the trash compactor of Dulce Base, and they just gobble this shit up. They fucking love it. It's fucking gross.
Turn off all the trash compactors and C block holding cells.
3PO, Circuity bead. Level 2, not much is going on in level 2, but in order for you to get from level to level, again, this place doesn't run off electricity. It runs off of magnets and shit. So like each level has an elevator that takes you to the level, but you have to get on a separate elevator to get to a different level.
Question.
Yes.
Are the elevators like magnet powered?
Yes, they're magnetically powered.
So they're essentially rail guns.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Everything here is basically run off magnets. They use electricity with the magnets, but pretty much just to make them electromagnets. They don't use electricity to power shit like their iPhones or whatever. They use magnets to do that, like we do with wireless chargers.
Wireless charging. Yeah.
I still don't
anyway,
know how they work.
So,
Little green ghouls, I'm guessing.
level 2, fuck it, nothing special goes on level 2. But then we get to level 3, and once you get into level 3, everyone gets weighted. The minute you get into level 3, you get weighed.
Yeah. I fucking
You
forgot about this.
You get put into a uniform if you're a visitor there, which they apparently let visitors in like it's goddamn Disney World.
Yeah, the word visitor for Dulce Base is like, what are you talking about?
It must be like bring your daughter to work day. There's your visitor. But
now, honey,
I need more go-go juice.
normally Daddy does this, but if you
I need more go-go juice too.
could take this cattle prod and just get that alien in line
do you
over
see
there,
that Cronenberg jelly man over there? Go stab him with
you
this
see
thing.
the thing that has teeth in its knees? Yeah, just go tell him to start serving lunch.
Yeah,
You
it's
see
great.
that woman with
time.
fucking 15 tits over there? Yeah,
Slap
fucking.
Pop 'em.
Anyway, so when you get on this, the visitors get an off-white uniform. But the weight of a person is put onto this ID card that every single person gets. And if your weight ever fluctuates more than 3 pounds, they go into a full-ass investigation
What
on
if
you
you
on
take
what's going
like
on.
the biggest shit ever?
Well,
You're gonna have to talk to security.
you're going to have to talk to security and let them know.
I just took a 10 Keurig fucking shit.
You're going to have to let them know.
I drank a Jaeger all night and had a bunch of burritos to top it off.
The fourth level, like Doug was saying, has to do with like what did you say, Doug? I'm sorry, I'm going through
The
my own
fourth
thing.
level,
Yes.
so corporate offices and then alien
Mind
housing.
control.
Mind control.
Mind
Thank you.
control. Mind
That was the
control.
word. So not only does it do mind control, but they have rooms in there. It's basically human aura research. They research the literal human aura and the human soul. They also do dream and hypnosis experimentation in there as well. They have these chambers that actually, before I even go to the fucking chambers, they have technology there to separate a human soul from the body and replace it with an alien.
Yes! Oh
They
my
replace it with a
God!
Gray's matrix, essentially.
They're
So a Gray can
Yahudians.
take over
Yeah.
your body. And you know what? Obama, back when he was a president, went to the Dulce Base and got replaced with a reptilian soul. That's why if you look at those videos where Obama, for a flash second, you see Obama is actually, you see the eyes change and he's actually more reptilian.
So Taylor
That's
Swift has been here
because
then.
You see his other eyelids.
That's because he went into Dulce and he got his soul swapped with a fucking reptilian.
Yeah, with an alien.
Yes.
Damn, I love reptile
Anyway,
rulers.
there are also these special made
Reptar's
rooms
pretty
in
great.
there. There are these special made rooms in there where if your body got ripped out of your soul via astro travel, your soul remains in this chamber where it can have experiments done on it.
Or it's kind of like a port for astral travelers.
It doesn't.
Or it
kind of like
doesn't.
it's kind of like flu powder in Harry Potter, I guess.
All right,
Anyway.
speed this up.
Okay, the 5th, 6th, and 7th is just a bunch of fucking alien stuff. Level 5 is the alien house, and like he said, humans are not allowed to talk to
like-
the aliens off the clock. They are not allowed to go into these facilities at all. In these facilities, though, you will see that the Greys eat in this facility. They eat this thing that kind of looks like a clear paste, but it's got the texture of like a peach puree.
Yep.
Apparently, when they're eating this stuff, it smells fucking awful.
Awful.
Humans hate the fucking smell of this shit, but this
These
is
are
kind of
great
where they
old
eat
ones
them.
for sure.
Yeah. Level
Right?
6
Like-
is
The Nightmare Hall! And it's full of eldritch abominations.
full of eldritch abominations.
No fucking shit.
It's-
I love that he's just sabotaging himself now.
It's basically a giant torture chamber full of Cronenberg monsters.
So, okay, let me get this straight.
Yes.
We have a secret esoteric knowledge base. We have a location that houses secret alien
Yes.
genetics labs,
Yes.
and they are trying to splice each other's DNA together in their genetics lab, creating abominations and amalgamations.
Yes, because the Greys have been doing this forever now. Greys have been constantly trying to switch or mix their DNA with our DNA to make a warrior race to fight, and also a breeding race as well.
So are any of you touching on the whole cow mutilation thing?
Yeah,
Not really on my no.
that's pretty much my whole point.
Anyway,
Okay,
I'm going to wrap
cool.
up through this. I'm going to wrap through
where
this.
I
I'm
was
going to
about
wrap
to
through
go
this.
I think so, yeah.
My boy Tom Costello, which we're going to get into later. I'm going to go in a little bit more detail about him in a little bit, but this is a man who, when he discovered this stuff, he was told that these experiments in this crazy torture chamber were experiments being done on people who were already insane, and they were trying to do experiments for health research to basically help give them a cure. That's a bunch of bullshit.
Yep.
The seventh
Yes,
floor,
it is.
the seventh floor here, it houses a bunch of humans in cold storage, kind of like what Doug was saying. But there's also like frozen tubes of them. There's these vats of liquid that are filled with human parts as well. It's like this amber liquid,
yeah, it's like this
and this
yellow-
liquid
yeah.
is being used as like fodder and feed for other experiments, like those fucking crazy ones in the Nightmare Hall.
Feed
They
feed
basically
him
feed this shit to them. In this
Soylent
place already,
Green.
yeah. In these vats, you see people that are women in their early 20s
Human
to
horn?
30s. You see
Human
boys
horn.
from the age of 5 to 9. You see small men from the mid 20s to 40s. And the reason being that I'm coming up with it's because the boys, they're so young that their bodies are at that right stage because they're rapidly growing. Their atomic
Choose your
material.
next words carefully.
They're growing. Their atomic material is transferable at this point. There's a lot of experiments being done.
virulent.
There's a lot of experiments being done with atomic material. This is basically when
Yeah.
we got the atomic bomb going, we cracked the fucking atom. That's when the aliens were like, we want that atomic material. We're made of it. That's what they're trying to get out of us and harvest out of us. The women are there because they're fertile, and the men are there because they're sperm.
Because they are sperm.
Yep.
Because sperm.
Costello was also
because-
told, Thomas Costello was also told that this whole thing was done. It is a high-risk medical testing facility, and he just brushed it off as that because he was basically just there to do his job.
Well, this is a good point to move on.
I'm out
we
for a
have,
minute.
We have we actually have a lot of different like
Jesus.
major players in this
Yeah.
whole series.
There are a lot.
So we kind of wanted to give you an idea of what the topic was, what this fucking whack ass base is, and now we're gonna kind of give you some accounts of the people who have surrounded their lives in this
whistleblowers.
base.
These
Our
are like the-
whistleblowers.
The people who are like closest to patient zero.
Yeah, pretty much. So let's start with a man who goes by the name of Paul Benowitz.
Wowie zowie!
Thank you. that was like a mouse
super-
standoff.
That was super uncomfortable. I just want you all to know
I
that.
was trying to interrupt Doug, so every time he'd go, I'd be like,
Jesus.
All right, so where were we? Paul Benowitz.
Mr. Benowitz.
yeah, he's a key
Mr.
player.
Benowitz.
That was my father.
You can call me Paul.
Just call me Paul.
So let's start with his background a little bit. This guy had a PhD in physics, and that's about the only solid information we have on this man. Just kidding. But no, so this guy, Paul Benowitz, he was like the first and the most seen player in this Dulce Base game, I want to say.
Okay.
So he became convinced that all these cattle mutilations that were, around his area, which he was in Albuquerque before going out towards the Dulce area, but there was a lot of cattle mutilations going on just in New Mexico, all over the place.
Tons.
And I'll let you go over that later. But
yeah.
basically, he was convinced that these were the results of extraterrestrial intervention, and he was just like seriously so gung ho on this fact that it's like all he could think about. It was all he was doing. So he decided that he's gonna go sit his ass on top of this mountain, and he's gonna look for radio signals. And so he starts intercepting electronic signals near a Dulce town, or near Dulce, a town that was like too small for like those kind of signals to be coming from.
Yeah.
So he then theorized that these signals were coming from underground, going way up into the sky. Cool.
That's fucking weird.
One might say, that's pretty okay to do for him. So Benowitz soon believed that he had located a secret alien facility that he called Dulce Base.
Yeah.
So this is where we get the name from.
Yeah.
This is the man that started the rumors of the base and named the base
Yep.
Dulce Base.
My personal hero, Paul Benowitz.
Paul Benowitz.
There goes my hero. All right.
And then
Watch him.
He aimed for those bushes.
He did. He had a takeoff plan, but he also had an impact plan.
Well, y'all will soon realize why this man is the way he is.
Yep.
In the 1980s, he had started spreading these rumors all over the place of this underground facility. So once he did, this woman reaches out to him by the name of Myrna Hansen.
Myrna.
I
work with a lady named Myrna.
That's pretty cool.
It's not the same one.
So she claimed that she had a bunch of UFO experiences, and they both became convinced of this whole cattle mutilation thing, that they were on the same path.
Okay.
And actually, he ended up having a lot of people reach out to him, but it was pretty apparent that most of these people were just trying to cash in on the whole UFO like shit. Basically,
Yeah.
they just wanted to make some money writing and faking shit. But
Well, the hype was going on.
yeah, there was definitely some UFO hype happening right in this era. I guess it was actually more so like 30 years prior, but it was still pretty popular now.
I think once the UFO craze started, it didn't really,
It really
go
didn't.
anywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So Benowitz
Not
claimed,
with you.
Not with me. Not with you either, mister. I'm going to shout every word for the whole episode.
I want to believe.
I'm passionate and I love this.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, shit, I have a fucking tattoo on me
Yeah,
that says
it says,
I want to believe. So
Also, I shouldn't be talking shit about Mike being passionate about something because, like, that's the best version of Mike that we could ever hope for.
that's true.
Says you.
What? Is there a better one?
My heart hurts when
Is
I
it
feel like
horny
this.
Mike?
I heard my heart by yelling.
Sorry, go
I
ahead.
don't know why that went like Native
Old man?
American.
Oh, I heard
fucking-
more old man
It did.
than that.
Well, it was like old Native American man.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, let's not talk about that anymore. So Benowitz claimed to
There's a
have
lot
found-
of old Native American men in this story, I'm sure.
There are plenty. I actually watched some newscasts,
Yeah.
like from the local news televisions on this, and some of them are funny as hell.
There are so many local news, like articles, like news pieces, media hits. Like, there's a ton from the past.
There was one that was just like aliens and Bigfoot, and it's just like this like
I'll get there.
90-year-old fucking woman
We're
talking
gonna
to the
fuck them
news.
both.
Yeah, straight up. All right, back on topic here. So, Benowitz claimed to have found evidence of aliens controlling humans through electromagnetic devices, and furthermore claimed that UFOs were regularly flying near Kirtland Air Force Base, Manzano Nuclear Weapons Storage Facility, and the Coyote Canyon test areas. So, from where he was living, he was seeing all these lights, all these different like weird things. He would travel out to Dulce and actually like photograph with a high powered telescope, like the mountain sides and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He was like seriously like tinfoil hat man,
Like,
just
obsessed.
like straight. This is all he cared about. This is all he
Okay.
wanted to do. He has
kinda
pictures of
guy.
all this
This
stuff.
drove his wife away. Like,
He probably didn't have a wife. I don't know. But yeah, so he's just all over New Mexico filming, taking pictures, and just being a fucking crazy motherfucker. So basically what he ends up doing is he's like, I seen the alien go into the mountain, and I gotta tell the Air Force about this.
Why would you go to the military?
Yeah,
They're gonna be like, no, you didn't see anything.
But
you're
you're
crazy.
stupid
This
piece
is
of
kind
shit.
of where it gets funny. So I'm not gonna say it right now. But basically, he goes to the Air Force and he's like, "Here's what happened. I have the pictures. There's these things on the mountain. I can see vents. I
Idiot.
can see an opening. Like, what are y'all like doing?
They're
Go
like, "Oh,
get the
cool."
aliens."
thanks, man.
And they're
Go
like,
get the aliens.
they're like, "You did the good thing here today.
Good
and
citizen, man.
We'll be in contact with you." So Benowitz ends up writing an assertion to the Aerial Phenomena Research Organization, who basically said, "You, sir, are fucking crazy and paranoid, please stop contacting us, you fucking asshole.
The equivalent of, sir, this is a Wendy's.
You just emailed a 1,000-page document to a Foot Locker. This is incorrect. Yeah, so basically they told him to fuck off, and he was like, okay. So now we get to a ufologist, UFO,
Enough.
named William Moore. And he claims that he was basically trying to push Benowitz, who had been in a mental health facility already on 3 different occasions, actually, that he was basically feeding Benowitz fucking all this like false information about aliens.
Was just fucking with this.
Just fucking with him?
Yeah, this well-known ufologist started fucking.
Benowitz was
with
just
Paul.
like Benowitz was. He was like, I got photos of these grays. Like I see the events, and the guy's just like, yeah, I bet there's crab people down there too. He's like, oh, there's fucking crab people. What the crab? He's just fucking
Just
with him.
gaslighting the shit out of him.
Absolutely, but he was like opposite gaslighting. He was like being like, you are 100%
He was
correct.
pushing him in the direction.
Yes, he was
privately,
like, yeah, exactly.
but publicly. Like, I'm a distance myself.
Yeah, he was like, I'm gonna just fuck with this man, and I'm like, he's already crazy.
He was just trolling him,
You know,
basically.
it's like what we do with Mike every week.
Exactly.
Okay.
What?
No, don't worry about it, man.
So after he gets fed all this information, fast forward a couple years to 1988, Paul writes a paper titled Project Beta, detailing in absolute just
Visceral detail.
just so much detail, how one might successfully attack this base.
Yep.
Because
You gotta
this
go
one-man
in.
army is going to go and just fight some aliens.
This man
in
played the game
mountain.
Army of Two, and was like, I have one friend. We got this.
So after he wrote this paper,
I'm aggroing.
literally like months after he wrote this, his family checked him into a mental facility.
That sounds
Just-
correct.
Just straight up.
That is the logical chain of events that I would have guessed to
Now,
happen.
Deborah, here I am armed with my chest plate made of pots and pans and my golf club pike. You cannot tell me I cannot infiltrate this
I
center.
spent $5 on this hat. It's made of tinfoil, and I made it myself.
I bought these X-ray specs off the back of a comic book to let me see into the walls of this facility, and I will not
And they told me.
regret this purchase.
They told me if I say the secret words that I will be protected from all the psionic attacks from the aliens the government knows about.
Protected because I wear this hat.
From aluminum foil. Oh, I hate us.
All right, so I'm gonna backtrack just a little bit here because
Okay.
I thought this was almost as funny as the guy trolling him, but also a very, very good bit of information just on alien sightings in general. So
Okay.
there's a former special U.S. agent of the Air Force who goes by the name of Richard Dottie. Now, this man claimed that in the 1980s, he was tasked with hoaxing documents and feeding false information to UFO researchers, including Benowitz.
Okay.
So this man's job basically was to be like, I'm going to make some fake documents that look like they're from the government.
This was the spoon SCP. If like info gets out that if you were to stuff spoons in your ass, you could just win the lottery if you want.
See, but this was...
It's a disinformation campaign.
No, it is disinformation, but it's in the wrong direction. So basically, this guy was trying to push, basically he was trying to feed him false info that alluded to the fact that the government was up to some shit with aliens, and not the fact that what they were doing was probably more so just like war research in a private base that needed to be kept private.
Yeah.
That wasn't where Paul Benowitz thought the base was. So like
They're pretty much trying to be like, yeah, you're right. It's over
Yeah, he's
there
like,
when
oh,
the actual
shit.
base was like 3 miles away.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
like
you
something-
shouldn't have ever said that in a public forum. I can't believe you did that to us.
yeah, exactly.
thing.
He's
Gotcha.
like, oh,
Okay.
I hope no one finds these papers that I just threw on the
What's on a
ground.
banana peel? Whoops! My suitcase full of classified files.
So this Richard Doty is actually featured in a 2013 documentary called Mirage Men, a film alleging how the U.S. government created a myth that took over the world, UFOs and weapons of mass deception. So long story short,
How?
there's a
Mirage Men.
how? I don't know. I haven't watched it. So basically, this guy, I thought, I don't know. I just feel like this is a good topic, like a good point of topic, because maybe that's all it is sometimes. Like maybe the Majestic 12 documents is just something to keep us idiots and conspiracy theorists occupied from what they're really doing, which probably isn't even nearly as crazy as the things that we think they're doing.
No,
But they're keeping us busy thinking the crazy things so they can just, go and like maybe like abduct a few people and maybe experiment on a couple things and
turn cancer patients into food.
Yeah,
or
right.
whatever the fuck
Well,
they're
yeah,
doing.
that's
gonna
what
keep the
that big old rant I went on the end of Majestic 12. That's what it was about. How it was
Yeah.
a disinformation
Oh
campaign.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's all just smoke and mirrors. The
Yeah.
whole fucking thing.
So I tried really hard to figure out when and where Benowitz ended up actually dying at, but he passed away in June 23rd, 2003. I don't know if he was still in a mental facility or not. I don't know if he just died at home or whatever it was. There really was nothing on it, but this will make sense why I was trying to find this as we move forward.
Yeah.
But that's all I have on Paul. He did a lot. He's been just all over this topic. Anything you search, if you want to do your own research on this, which you fucking figure it out, you will see this man's name.
Oh yeah, it's
everywhere.
tied to Dulce Base and everything that goes along with it for the infinite future. I'm pretty sure at this point,
100%. Yeah.
as long as the internet exists. But since we're talking about firsthand accounts of things, of compiling evidence, of about basically just making a case for why Dulce Base is doing things that are not okay, and the people should maybe know about it. We're going to turn to somebody named Gabriel Valdez, or Gabe Valdez is how he goes. Gabe Valdez was a former New Mexico State Police trooper, and he was obsessed with documenting unexplained cattle mutilations. Especially in the area of New Mexico, and just like that Mesoamerican area.
There's a there's like a story about these people that like actually came like face to face with these grays. They went to the police didn't believe them, but like old Gabe here comes across these files, and that kind of is what triggers him into being so obsessed with everything as well.
Yeah.
So there's even more backstory that we didn't even cover because I can't.
That the
My
story
brain
of,
can't.
at least from what I found, the story of Gabe finding all the information that leads him to the conclusions that he gets to is honestly it's as much information as this whole story by itself. Like, you guys are gonna find that this has ties to fucking everything. This has ties to fucking Majestic 12, Missing 411, like Project Serpo. Like there are topics that we haven't even covered yet that have to do with this. This is kind of like a hub. If you were interested in aliens and weird government alien conspiracies, this is a good one to start at because it'll branch you into like 7 others.
Yeah, this is the hole to all other holes of
The
this
hole
rabbit
to
hole.
all the rabbits.
All holes lead to Dulce.
Yes. But with this, let's go over somebody else. Like I said, his name was Gabe Valdez, and he was documenting these unexplained cattle mutilations in like the New Mexico area in the mid 1970s. And in the 1970s, cattle mutilations was like a giant topic. If you guys will remember, we did the Guaraparanga cattle mutilations, and this has everything to do with that because it's very similar. Valdez had seen and documented these mutilations, and if you go back again and listen to the Guaraparanga episode, you're going to hear that these cattle were mutilated in very specific ways. Half the face was missing. Maybe part of the jawbone was missing.
The asshole was corked out.
And there was another hole made to suck out the innards. There was no blood anywhere. And all these are similar. Like the surgical equipment that we have on Earth, Like there's no such thing as a bloodless surgery. There just isn't. You're going to lose some blood. Whoever is doing these cattle mutilations has found a way to make them blood-free. There is no risk of losing blood in these, or all of your blood. One of the two. So, 1970s.
There's just so many goddamn euphemisms that I wanted to make during that whole thing.
I saw the self-control.
I was like,
I'm coming.
Very not 13-year-old you, Doug. Good job.
it's very unlike me.
So Officer Valdez started documenting some of these cases, especially because especially his earlier years on the force, he had started seeing some very, very weird things. But the thing that caught his eye were these cattle mutilations. They were random, they were unexplained, they all had very, very similar MOs, and he had no idea what the hell happened. He also documented that a lot of these cattle mutilations, the closer you got in vicinity to Dulce Base, the greater these cattle mutilation documentations happened. It was almost like Dulce Base was like a vertice for cattle mutilations.
You would also see in some situations camouflaged vans and jeeps come up to where these mutilations were.
Yep.
And then the next day, the body is gone.
Nothing there.
And guess where that went? Into that wet garbage
The wet
area
garbage room
of Dulce.
It's because those small grays are kind of assholes. They just be tossing
They
them
really
out.
are. The grays are assholes. I don't care if you're talking about small grays or big grays.
Yeah.
Like
mainly-
draconians and small grays alike, they're all assholes.
Well, if it puts it in perspective, like the small grays, they're like biomechanical. Like
Yeah.
they're mechanical people. They're cyborgs essentially. They're being controlled by the white grays, the tall grays. They're the ones controlling them.
The draconians.
They have minds of their own. They're not even technically. I mean, yes, but no. But yes, but no.
Okay.
They're technically draconians, but at the same time, they're just tall white grays that control or tall whites that control the little grays, kind of like little robots. But the small grays do still kind of have a personality of their own. It's just kind of being subdued.
Like that thing
They're
from
kind of like gnomes.
yeah,
Yeah.
mechagnomes.
Yeah.
for sure.
But they're kind of just being subdued, like the personalities. You can have a conversation with any grays, but they work off like a hive mind when it comes to like their goal.
Well, also their intelligence is so far beyond ours.
Yeah,
that,
they're
like,
literal. Like all these aliens are literal. Like they don't understand
Yes.
poetry. They don't understand jokes. They
Sarcasm.
don't understand sarcasm. They're very literal.
moved
we
beyond
went
it.
over this in fucking Serpo. We went over
yeah,
this
yeah,
Project
Serpo.
Serpo. Yeah, with the Ebens and like the different the social and the cultural differences between the people that went to the planet Eben versus the aliens that were left here. Like there was a lot of obstacles to kind of tackle.
This is why everything comes back to Lovecraft with me, but this is like why I said that the small grays are basically like the Yakubians.
Yeah.
Because they have this like mindset where they're like, kill our own people. What does that mean?
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, let's fucking implant a human hybrid baby inside of a cow, let it fertilize.
Human.
Take
It
out
looks
the
like a person.
human and then shit the cow out of our spacecraft over the desert, flying at, God knows how fast. And then we have all these cattle mutilated like sites
Yep. And
just everywhere.
And meanwhile, Officer Valdez is over here trying to put the fucking pieces together. And so according to him, he has spent 30 fucking years trying to piece together the answer to these mutilations. And so he's well versed in all of this shit. The weird, you guys heard the episode. You know what I'm talking about. But in an interview about the these different mutilations and the relation to Dulce Base, he was interviewed several times, and it's really unfortunate that I can't find the full transcript of all the interviews. I got like bits and pieces of several, which is fine. It just sucks that he died in 2006, so like it's not like he can clarify. But here's what he says. He says, in regards to these mutilation crime scenes, hard quotes, here's what he says. The evidence that was left there, predators don't leave gas masks, glow sticks, radar chaff. They don't leave that stuff.
The predator will, though. Don't
the
get it
predator
confused.
will.
The predator
with the
will.
telltale shimmer. Jesus Christ, that was a good predator noise. He also goes on to say they don't have vitamin B12. essentially saying that, like, they don't know the ins and outs of this world. Like, yes, they might be advanced. Yes, they might know, like, far more advanced physics and math that we do. They don't know this world. And so they don't know that vitamin B12 is a thing that we need, etc. In another interview with History Channel's UFO Hunters, Valdez said that the most anomalous evidence he came across while investigating cattle mutilations happened about 40 miles east of Dulce. And this just goes on to reinforce the fact that there's some weird shit happening around Dulce. He goes on to say, we could tell where the aircraft came through. And this is in reference to Dulce Base. Dulce Base is most well known to house certain alien aircraft, and you can see different pieces of evidence of this throughout the entire region of the Dulce Base. Like, if you post up anywhere near it, you're going to see some fucking activity, and you will not be able to explain it. On top of that, so he goes on, he says, we could tell where the aircraft came through. They didn't do the whole process, and they left a fetus inside the animal. Now, this is referring to the genetics department inside Dulce. Which one? What level was that?
Oh, fucking Christ.
6? It was 6, right?
Genetic experiments?
No, yeah.
That was Nightmare Hall.
Nightmare Hall is where, yeah, they have human experimentation. You are correct.
Yes.
6, 9, 12, 7.
Nightmare Hall.
3. Stop saying it.
4 is where they do the, like, human aura research and all that stuff.
Right.
That's
So
where they do the dirty.
He's referring to level 6, and he basically says, so in response to the leaving a fetus inside the animal, he goes, a fetus, it was a cow fetus, and this is the UFO researcher kind of asking, and Valdez goes on to say, no, it looked like a human, a monkey, and a frog, all put together. Which, what?
Well, humans and monkeys are kind of close as is.
But what are
the frog?
What are the evolutionary advantages? Let's pretend right now that we can pick and choose evolutionary advantages from gene splicing, which we've proven time and time again that we can't do yet.
So frog.
What are we doing?
Long tongue.
Okay.
For cunnilingus.
Long tongue.
For eating
long
them out.
hops, and then you can birth babies off your back.
Tail for monkey.
Monk
tail.
Okay.
Frog legs, probably.
So far we have cunnilingus and balance.
Long
hop. Long hop.
One long hop.
Frogs can also some frogs they birth all out of their back.
They do.
Cloacas.
Mostly toads, but yes.
I don't know if a frog has a cloaca.
No, it does
actually.
not.
It does
It
not.
has a
Probably.
poop hole, and I'm pretty sure a
big
pee
old
pee.
shit shaft.
Frogs are
Dinos.
also super durable, unless you put a
Did you say
firecracker.
they
in
are
them, then it's
durable?
not that durable. I wouldn't know. I haven't done that, but that's what shitty people do in the like
Oh, is
80s.
it?
I would take the body of that weird frog that he just jump and then doesn't land on his legs. He just fucking.
Oh shit! What up? It's
your boy.
Like, there you go.
Mike's doing it for the meme.
Who that boy?
Discussion over.
There's no advantage to all three of those things being together.
No, God,
Let's be
no.
real.
I don't know.
Do
A
we
monkey mixed with anything is a huge advantage.
I
You
would
get
like-
monkey agility and tail mixed with whatever else you fucking got.
I would rather have gorilla.
So you just want monkey inside you.
I would. If I could have a tail, that'd be fucking dope.
Are you saying you want a little monkey inside you?
Yes.
Or a big monkey.
Continue
'Cause
on.
I have Dunstan's number. He can check into you.
Continue on.
Okay. So we're going over how a human fetus ended up inside a fucking cow. So this is due in part
Monkey
to
staff, Shaolin Showdown. There it is. Go ahead.
Mike had sex with the cow. Next topic.
So this has everything to do with genetic experimentation. And so Valdez was asked, is he implying that the cow was being used as an incubation chamber for a cloned creature? And Valdez goes, that is exactly what is happening here. Which, when I know you were a police officer, I missed the part where you got your PhD in genetics and monoclonal cloning. I don't know. I could be wrong. It could be. In another interview with Open Minds Radio, Valdez said that he found listening devices in his home after investigating the cattle mutilations. He also claimed to have seen sophisticated aircraft, whatever the fuck that means,
Like a drone.
including an orb
Head
that looked
wings.
like a hot air balloon. So, maybe it was just a fucking hot air balloon.
Just a paper airplane. Just he's like, what the fuck?
One of the last things that Valdez mentions on all of this is that people have seen the helicopters. They are black and silent. And that's pretty much what he signs off with. And he's referring to Black Ops
I
helicopters
see your face. Don't.
flying under the radar
I didn't say anything.
to provide security for Dulce Base. That's what I can assume it to be. But other than that, there's really nothing else from this Officer Valdez. Although he is a very key person when it comes to defining what exactly goes on with Dulce Base.
We're moving
Wowie zowie!
Rowie's out. We're moving on to a boy named Tim Anderson. Now, if I'm going to be blunt with you guys, I don't fully recall the timeline for Tim Anderson. I want to say it takes place in the 80s. If I'm being honest, it's all kind of a fucking blur to me right now. I just remember the stories and the names. I don't remember dates all
This
that well.
spans from the 70s to the early 90s.
So, Tim Anderson is a Native American guy that lives in the Dulce area. He's a Bigfoot hunter. This guy's claimed to have found 2 sets of Bigfoot tracks in the area.
How does one hunt big
With a gun, you fucking idiot.
with a big gun.
He has gone on to report that he has also seen, while Bigfoot hunting, he has seen lights in the sky that is also followed by black helicopters. He's like, oh yeah, this is a normal
Are they
thing.
silent?
They are silent. He's like, oh yeah, this is a
Weird.
normal fucking thing. You see lights in the sky, you see helicopters following right a few minutes after. It just happens all the fucking time. And
Remember
here's the
that time
fucking thing.
We said no more.
Yeah.
Here's the fucking thing. You might be asking yourself, you're like, shit, dog. This guy's a Bigfoot hunter. Like, why are we talking about him? Well, I'm gonna fucking tell you. It's because Bigfoot's a goddamn alien.
Has chlamydia. Oh,
Bigfoot, in recent sightings, and these sightings have gone way back. It's just not has been like the key aspect of the Bigfoot sightings. There have been these orange lights that come up with almost every single Bigfoot sighting. And what these lights are is it's basically Bigfoot being a trans-dimensional creature who can phase in and out of our reality. He'll come in, he'll take whatever food he needs, and he bounces back out. And that's what those orange lights are. It's him coming into our fucking reality.
So he's like those
Bigfoot is a 4D being. He does not belong on this plane. He is interdimensional. He's a trans-dimensional cross-species creature who comes
Is
into
that
our
why
plane
he's
to
blurry
feed.
when you take a picture of him?
That is no. Actually, the reason he's blurry when you take a picture of him
Frequencies.
is because not only frequencies, but Bigfoot, his
Magnets.
race of aliens, have a technology that cloaks them against the electronic displays that come out of the camera
if they
itself.
hear the shutter sound on a camera, it freaks the fuck out.
Question: Have
yeah.
you seen the movie Tahoe Joe?
No.
I haven't.
Now,
Okay.
there are other
Your
theories out
references
there.
are lost
There are
here.
other theories out there that show that Bigfoot is actually a species of alien that crash landed here thousands upon thousands of years ago, and now they're kind of just survival of the fittest thing. There are dwindling in numbers, but they still have their technology from before.
Are you
So-
are you telling me that Bigfoot took place in the Hyperborean War?
Kind of, sort of, yes. There are cases. There are cases of documents of people just going around along their daily routine, and a Bigfoot comes in flying a fucking UFO, and he lands and he just goes like, "Urgh," and like Bigfoots do, and they get back in the UFO and fucking take off. Bigfeet are alien. Actually, not Bigfeet. Sorry, they're Bigfoots. Bigfoots are aliens. They're trans-dimensional aliens, though. They're not what we think an alien is. They cross through dimensions. They are 4-dimensional
So
beings.
this is the big-footed, hairy version of Wall-E, is what you're telling me?
No, because he's not collecting trash.
But he got left here.
Some of them did, not all of them. Some of them got left here for experimental purposes. They left them here because they were supposed to create like half Bigfoot, half human hybrids, but they never actually did that. And now over
Well, what
the
is
years,
Wall-E
they got
if
kind of
not
dumbed
that?
down.
Are they lazy or what is it?
It kind of boiled down to that because they went to their natural roots because they discovered the wilderness and they're like, hey, I don't need all this sophistication and technology. I have nature. So they became more nature people because they realized they don't need technology, but they still use it a little bit with their camouflaging techniques. They still have technology that they use to camouflage them into the wilderness.
This is Predator. This is just Predator. You
Bigfoot
technologically
is
you
Predator.
advance yourself so far into
Bigfoot
the
can be
future.
Predator. Yeah.
I don't like this version of Bigfoot.
Well,
I
it's
like
too
the-
bad.
I like the version of Bigfoot.
This big,
from-
stupid, dumb.
Well,
It's too bad.
So from the movie that I was talking about, basically they portray Bigfoot as like, they're like, all right, this is a government known entity that lives in, well, in this movie, it's the fucking
Harry and the
Nevada.
Hendersons. So
But
Go ahead.
Basically, he's a government protected entity, and like his feeding ground is basically government set up. So like,
Is that on Vancouver Island or near that?
No, I forget where it is, and it's somewhere in Nevada.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know
Oh,
Pennsylvania's a big place for. Oh no, Skunk Ape,
That's the skunk
which I
ape.
think is the same fucking.
I mean,
whatever.
Long
for
story
all-
short, like if you were to kill Bigfoot or even try to take a picture of him, like all these sirens go off, and then you immediately get like
your balls turned
tracked
inside
down
out.
by government officials and get
Anyway.
erased.
That's pretty much it about Tim Anderson. But he came in talking about some of the smaller things that happen around the area, like lights, the government intervention, things like that, and the Bigfoot people who, if you look in history, Bigfoot and UFOs, they are always meshing together. Where you find UFOs, you find Bigfoot. Where you find Bigfoot, you find UFOs. They are one and the same. That's what I'm saying. Bigfoot are aliens.
Bigfoot is a UFO.
Would you say
Yes.
that where you find aliens, you find people?
Sure. So Thomas Costello, he's the last guy on our list for the day. This guy right here, he came out in the 90s. He was a whistleblower that decided to tell a story in the 90s. Basically, his backstory during the 70s, he was a photographer for the military. He was like super confidential photography. He went from place to place until he finally established himself at Dulce.
I feel like this man would have gotten along very well with Aleister Crowley.
Mr. Crowley. So when he worked at Dulce, he was pretty much a surveillance supervisor, along with basically being the HR representative for the humans when it comes to all issues with Greys, Dracos, and Reptilians. Now, I bring up the Dracos and Reptilians again because, once again, these Dracos and the Reptilians, although the Dulce Base is relatively newly formed, the area itself has been a home of the Reptilians and the Dracos for, again, thousands, if not millions of years.
Yeah.
In fact, the Reptilians and the Dracos have connections to the Anunnaki, who
Yup.
are essentially a race of like hyper-intelligent reptilian people who have been on this earth for thousands upon millions of years.
Inside it.
They're like the
Living
ones that
inside
mostly
of
helps with the
inside of the earth.
This is
advancement of people's.
Yes. And they
This is Hollow Earth theory,
Yes.
if we're being 100% honest.
exactly, and that's a whole other fucking thing.
And
I don't
once
want to get
again,
into that.
This is
right now.
another branch.
Because with the Hollow Earth, you get fucking subterranean creatures, and I can't get into
Subterran.
that
Well,
right now.
the other thing too is that the Anunnakis are actually a friendly race of aliens that want our benefit,
Yeah.
and not.
Well, we have a symbiotic relationship with them.
Depends, because as of late, you could kind of say that the Reptilians and the Dracos are kind of like an offshoot of them, where they're kind of like their ancestors.
Version 3.
Sort of, kind of.
Okay.
But no, but yes, but no.
But no, but yes, but maybe.
Anyway, but
maybe.
these reptilians have been living down there for hundreds of thousands of millions of years potentially, and we just cut a deal with them, just like we did with the Greys, where we give you these human sacrifices, you give us technology. We did that with the Greys and the Reptilians. So, Thomas Costello, this fun guy. So again, he's kind of like the mediator between humans and all these guys. If there's a problem that a human brings up, or if there's a problem that involves a human, he is the guy that goes in and pretty much mediates it. He is what's it called when the police brings in a guy? What's that guy called? Like a crisis fucking
Hostage negotiator.
Thank you. Yes. He is basically the hostage negotiator.
You're thanking me for sneezing. You're welcome.
Oh, sorry. Bless you, not thanks. Bless you. I'm in
I
the
believe the
fucking
word you're looking
zone.
for is
Dude,
shut the
this
fuck
is,
up.
I've said
So
it
anyway.
12 times already. This is my favorite version of Mike.
So Thomas Costello is on record for seeing all sorts of fucked up shit. He mentions how and this goes back to the Nightmare Hall.
Level 6.
This goes back to
that
there.
was a fart. That was a fart.
You heard it too, huh? This goes back to
I
there
was
where
just
he
going to blow by
mentions.
those, but like it's almost like every time. I'm not going to do that to you. Never mind.
Thank you. He
No,
mentions
it's every
how
time Mike says it, it's a fart.
he mentions how he kept seeing creatures in cages, such as these weird like humanoid bat creatures. He sees
Oh, yeah,
gargoyle-like
the fucking-
creatures.
Yes, the
He mentions-
Gargoyles, the
he
TV
mentions-
show.
Yeah. He
This is the
mentions how
basis.
he saw these like furry creatures that had like human hands, but they cried like a baby and mimicked.
Furbies.
Yeah, and they mimicked human speech. He
Furbies.
also mentioned how he worked basically side by side with the reptilian leader. Like there's a reptilian leader.
Yep.
His name, and I'm gonna butcher this pronunciation, but it's
That was surprisingly very good.
I think that one was it. But it's spelled KHAARSHFASHST.
Yep.
which
Just
basically
parcel
means
the person.
Yeah,
is what it
basically
is.
his name translates to keeper of the laws.
Okay.
Now how these
how do we get that from that?
I don't
What's the etymological
I cannot
path
do
that we
it.
can take there?
you go there if you know it. I cannot do
I
it.
have no idea. I'm asking you. I'm curious.
It's old language. It's
like
old tongue.
Sumerian, like
basically.
Sanskrit.
I know it. I'm not going into it though because I don't know it all the way. I'm not going to butcher it that
That's
badly.
fair. No, that's fair.
But
I was legit.
it is-
I was curious.
It's practically Sanskrit-esque shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
ancient languages.
Yeah. But basically, that is his like go-to guy that he works with. Kashvash's name again means keeper of the laws.
I can't even like register the sounds you're making, so don't make me say that.
His name
please.
means keeper of the laws, and each reptilian has a name that kind of has to do with what their like job is, along with a couple like secret letters thrown in
Well,
there.
that's along with like their caste system, though, right?
No, not really. It's
Really?
kind of like a reptilian thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. though.
Yeah, like
The
like
reptilians, they have a caste system where like
they have
almost like
they
there's-
have plenty different ones. The only ones we're working with today is like the Dracos and the reptilian worker class, but there's
Yes.
literally dozens of
like there's,
classes.
there's a worker class, there's like an elite class, there's a soldier class. Like there's unlike what we experienced here today in the great US of A, we don't really have a caste system here. You can attempt whatever you would like to try. In this sort of, I don't know, socioeconomic space.
Think of a beehive or an anthill.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
that's more of the Greys. The Greys are more like that. The reptilians are
This is more like cockroaches.
It's very weird because the reptilians are these highly intellectual
cock.
creatures, but for some reason they have a hierarchy system. No one knows why they still have a hierarchy system when they're these hyper intelligent creatures that by their own definition have moved beyond needing this kind of system, but they still use it for some reason. No one knows why. The secrets are with the actual Dracos, the higher up people. It's one of those things where no one knows why. Again, they don't know why they have this hierarchy system. They don't need it. There's no purpose for it.
So here's-
Besides that, the Dracos just don't want to do like normal people jobs. They leave that to the reptilians.
That's part of it, I think. And here's kind of what I think about that whole like assigned jobs thing.
So it's not an assigned job; it's the name. So their name
but
has to
you-
do with their job.
You
In essence.
were born into like this certain caste, and that caste can perform certain
They're
duties.
basically Saiyans. You're either elite Saiyan or you're a
Exactly.
lower class Saiyan.
You got
Yes.
warriors. You have the
But-
home. Like, I'll go ahead.
Each of these reptilians, in their name, not only does it have to do with whatever like their position is or whatever. Like for example, Kashvast again means keeper of the laws.
So
But
impressed.
in his name, he has 2 letters in there that are secret. Every reptilian has a couple letters in their name
Secret
that are secret
letters?
to them. Yeah, it's personal to them and it means what they want it to mean. It's like if my name was like Michael Verver and the Verver meant like
Child sucker or something.
no,
It's hypothetical, man.
no.
This is all
If it
hypothetical.
meant like if the Verver meant
I'm not
like
saying it means that.
the funny and silly, but that would be like a
Okay,
me
how about
thing.
child collector?
I also don't like that. Moving on. Anyway, so Costello has gone on record, and he basically mentioned on some of his records with working with Kashvast.
I'm so
that
fucking impressed, and
he-
I have a huge heart on for this.
He goes on record saying that he essentially used to just call him Karsh as like a nickname. And
Karsh.
And Karsh here fucking hated that because reptilians are super formal. Like they are the like sir, ma'am,
look at
Mr.
this is
Mrs.
Look
This
at fucking
reminded me-
Dagon.
This is reminding me of every tabaxi I've ever made
yeah.
in D&D.
Yeah, they're all
Yeah.
formal as shit. But no,
Super
look at
formal.
fucking look at Dagon with the fucking deep ones.
That's fair.
Yeah.
They have their own hierarchy that's almost exactly the same. Like they are insistent
Maybe
that you refer to
Lovecraft
their
went to
rank.
Dulce. Who the fuck knows? But
Hope
anyway, so
God, I hope so.
they're very formal. So Karsh did not appreciate that at all. It went to the point where like he kind of started to fuck with Costello because Kashvast used to call Costello quote unquote leader Costello, but he would always use it in a very sarcastic tone. So he would say it in a way just like, "Ha ha, leader Costello," like. Yeah, very yeah.
very, very much.
And the reason he says it like that is because
He's an asshole.
He's just a piece of shit.
the reason he says it like that is because the humans on paper were in charge of everybody. In theory,
Yes.
it went humans, Dracos,
But that's the fucked up thing.
reptilians. It went humans, Dracos, and Greys, and then reptilians.
Yes. But why?
Because we thought we were in charge because we built this base, we did all this stuff.
That
for
is how
them.
you deal with us.
But here's the thing: these Dracos, these reptilians, they're like 7 foot and 9 foot dragon
they're
people.
fucking huge.
You try telling them. That's like if I went up to like fucking who's that giant wrestler? Andre the Giant.
Andre the Giant?
Who's the giant wrestler? No, Andre. That's like if I went up to Andre the Giant and I was like, I'm your boss. That's not gonna fucking fly.
I'm gonna fuck you.
Yeah, that's not gonna fly. So on paper, humans were in charge, but you can't exactly say that to a draconian or a reptilian.
Well,
now
to
the hang
to
on,
be
the
fair-
reptilians.
Go
Hang
ahead,
on,
go-
the
go ahead.
reptilians. He said, Costello said that the worker reptilians, though, the ones that were like a little below the ones that were below him, they were actually pretty nice to talk to, but you had to let them speak first. Again, it goes to that theory of like, yes, you are in charge, but are you really? Are you really? Yeah.
Like hard fucking air quotes with
You're
that
in
because
charge until I feel like you're not anymore.
that's exactly that's what it is.
Kind
I'm
of,
almost
yeah.
100% positive that it's only because that we as a
It's one of
human
those-
race like to feel like we're in charge and in
It's-
control.
It's the equivalent of like if you're doing an amazing job and your boss keeps taking credit for it, and the minute you decide I can go above you and you'll get fired, you have all the control over your
All of
boss,
it.
but it's still technically your boss.
exactly.
That's what it is.
That's the exact.
That's what it fucking
yes,
is.
that's
Now,
what this is.
You're also probably wondering, Michael, there's a fuckload of different aliens and
There's
species.
so
There's
many.
humans, there's draconians, reptilians, there's greys, there's
big
there's
grays,
big
small
grays.
grays,
All of them are at this
Fat
base.
grays.
middle grays.
All of them are at this space.
Long
How the
gray.
fuck are they communicating with each other? There is a universal language at the base called Oushu?
Oshu. OUSHU, I think.
Oshu.
OSHA, yeah.
Yeah, OSHA.
It's the standard practices of OSHA.
Everyone gets a 30-minute lunch break designated by OSHA and a 15-minute lunch break. But they all spoke a common language, and this language was on every sign in there. There was one sign that did not have this language on it, and it was for the exit tunnel to Los
Los Alamos.
Alamos. That one was in English, which you could infer that meant that only humans were allowed to go up that tunnel, because why would you have that in English when everyone there speaks Oshu?
Exactly.
So, anyway, Costello had to learn Oshu very quickly. He was only given a few weeks to be able
Yeah,
to
I was
learn
gonna
this
say,
language.
Didn't he pick it up in like
He
less
picked-
than a month?
Yes, and he's very fluent in Spanish as well.
Yep.
So good for him. He's multilingual.
Yeah.
Trilingual
Yep.
now. Oh my god, this is hurting my
Speaks
fucking brain
off
so
front.
much. This is hurting my brain so much.
My brain is mush. If you'd like some consolation.
So again, like I mentioned, there's that hierarchy and everything that went on with the Dracos and the reptilians and everything.
Well, there's a hierarchy within Dulce Base,
Yes.
and it's almost like the aliens that are there like conform to it. You know what I mean? Which is weird to me.
So
It's weird that they
It's
would
like they're almost trying to be respectful. Like if
Yeah.
we were to go to their home planet or something, and
That
we'd be
we'd-
respectful of their weird shit that they're doing.
But in my brain, my stupid lizard fucking brain, I'm like, that's a human construct.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so here's another thing.
You know what I mean?
So Costello, he
It's
went
not
on.
an alien construct.
Sure.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Costello went on to mention in his interviews and everything that there were a few areas in the base that were off limits to humans. I know I touched on it a little bit earlier, but I'm going to touch on it again. There was a reptilian hangout. I believe I mentioned before it was on the fifth floor. I think it was. It was one of those floors where there was
Alien housing.
there's alien housing.
Oh, yeah,
It was either the
fifth.
fourth or fifth floor. But basically, that's where like the reptilians ate. They're very
Oh,
private
yeah.
creatures. They ate on their own.
That
you did not
amber
see
slurry of whatever.
it. No, that was what they fed the
was not
experiments.
that was
That's what they
yes,
fed the
yeah, yeah.
experiments in the Nightmare Hall. Fuck, I hate that noise.
God,
That one was different.
it's not a good one.
So that, but the reptilians had their own lunch area where they ate on their own. They kept everything private. There was a whole reptilian space that you cannot enter. And again, if you're a human, when you're off hours, you cannot speak to anyone but another human. You cannot speak to another alien. You can speak to other humans, but no other aliens, because you might start an intergalactic fucking war.
And because people told you to.
Yes. There were, like I mentioned, there are the Greys thrown into all this as well. The Greys had that hive mentality, but they still have their own, like brain. You could throw off, like, you could like fuck with a Grey, because the Greys have like telepathic powers. Like these ones could like read your brain and everything, but you could throw it off by just like speaking wild gibberish. Like if you went up to a Grey and you didn't want him to know what you were trying to talk about, like if I was thinking like,
Salad horse, wishbone.
Yeah, if I went up to a Grey,
uncle, Mr.
and I was
Balloon
like,
Blimp Man.
if I was talking to a Grey and the entire time I was like, I have to shit so bad, but I did not want that Grey to think about it, I could be like, oh, you gotta go get the wishbone out of the turkey in the toilet. And
I'm gonna fill my pockets with jerky.
Yeah, you'd be like, oh, you gotta go to the bean aisle in room 4. And he'd be like, I gotta go to the bean aisle in room 4.
All right,
and he'd
I'll
head
meet you in
right
room
over
4.
there. Because they are very literal. If you tell them to do something, they go do it. And it throws off their whole inner workings.
They're a cynic's wet dream, is what that is.
Kind
just
of,
sarcastic
They're just
asshole.
sponges. They absorb whatever you tell them because they don't understand. They're very literal and scientific.
I just got a fax that you need to go talk to Dr. Marcus Fartbutt in fucking level 7.
He'll be searching for his whole life.
Yeah, but the last thing I want to go over is this is the final bit for me, boys. Are you ready? So I'm gonna go all the way back a little bit to the cold storage in the 7th room, the 7th floor of everything. So this is where Thomas Costello kind of had a breaking point. I mentioned it before, but this is when Thomas came across all of these weird experiments with these frozen like people in there, this vat of amber fluid with all these people remains in it that they're feeding to all the weird things. Floor 7.
Floor 7. Okay.
They told Costello that this was a site that was a high-risk medical testing facility, and what they're doing is there to actually benefit and help the human race.
Oh my God, I forgot about this.
Costello went along with it all the way up until the Dulce Alien War.
Dulce.
Fuck, I fucked it up!
Someone's
the Dulce
gonna call us
Alien
a slur
War.
on the internet.
Yep.
I don't want it.
The Dulce Alien War. That's when Costello had enough. And that is what we're going to talk about in part 2.
I'm so sorry that we're not talking about the fucking Dulce War here, because holy shit, is it interesting.
It's going to get crazy. It's going to get wild. It's going to get just absolutely batshit.
If you thought what I just did
Mike's turning it up
was me
12.
going over the top, you have not yet come across me talking about a literal war between the government and literal aliens shooting lasers at each other.
Several different types.
I'm not going to lie. I have a vacation coming up for work. About 2 days of that is going to be an actual vacation until I dive into this bullshit. I don't know if I'm going to survive.
You're going to love every second.
Lori's going to hate me.
We'll have to break
Lori is going to hate you.
We'll break the war up real good.
I'm going to be in our hotel room, and she's going to hear just the clickety-clacketing of a keyboard. And she's going to be like,
that Nixon did,
she's going to be
sucked off a Gray once. He
be like,
spit it into his mother's mouth.
It's 4 a.m. Why are you awake? And I'll be like, you don't understand. Fucking Phil, he had to go up. Phil Schneider had to go up and help the aliens, and then we had fucking Thomas Costello. He was talking to one of the aliens in the fucking nightmare hall.
And then we found out that the conversation that they had led to the fact that we sent a bunch of people to the fucking Planet Eba. It has something to do with Project Serpent.
It's a whole thing. You know what else is a whole thing, everybody?
What?
Patreon.com/DeludiePod.
Hell yes.
You have DeludiePod.com/Deludie.com. You can go there, see our links for everything. Sorry, my brain's kind of not working all that well.
You're still on the Grays.
You can see you just go there. There's links to everything. YouTube.com/@DeludiePod.
Yep.
Go there. It's bussin'. You can see the video for our faces.
We're almost monetized. We are so close, everybody.
Yep.
We are so close.
You can go to buymeacoffee.com/DeludiePod.
It's beer. It's beer. It's beer. It's beer.
You can go to our Google phone number and you can text us. We'll text you back, or you can leave a voicemail and we will play it on the show. That phone number is 630-9099.
Redacted.
I didn't even say it once. Let me say it once.
Yeah, that sucks, man.
I have to say it once for marketing purposes.
Try again.
630-9099.
Redacted.
I mean, you're with me on this. I have to say it at least once, right?
Maybe.
630-909-9366.
Redacted.
9366.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's broken up, but you got there.
Sure.
If you haven't listened to all 90 whatever episodes before, then you should know it.
We have exactly 3 full references to
If you-
our Google phone number.
If you're first,
in the
if this is
past
your first
97.
episode,
If you're
Ooh.
listening, and you're an avid alien hunter and you come across either reptilian, Draco, or Gray's teeth, send them my way.
Oh fuck yeah! We have a menagerie of teeth.
Yes, please. I love you.
Let's add to it.
I am gonna go quiet for the night.
Mike just got high. Doug, you have anything to say to the beautiful, unprobed people?
Badoo-doo!
Badoo-doo. Indeed. Just fuck it before it fucks you. Okay.
stick your penis. Fuck aliens. Not in a bad way.
Show aliens that we can fuck. Your cock. Or your big giant clitoris.
Doesn't matter. They don't care. They're not like other humans.
Show that.
They don't.
Guys, stay fucking paranoid. I'm gonna get us the fuck out of here. Stay paranoid. Go find the secret entrances to this base that we've been talking about. I know we haven't clued you into where they are, but stay tuned next week, and we might remember to do that. Who knows? We won't. But either way, we love you. Thank you so much for sticking around and learning all about the aliens.
And Buck Corbin, Kentucky.
Don't look under the internet.